So throughout my middle school and high school career, I was very interesting, fun to look at. I was weird. I was a weird kid. And even now, I'm still a weird kid. I'm just able to hide it more. But towards the end of high school, I realized I can't be living the rest of my life with these weird looks because I noticed that people treat me differently. They treat me differently from other girls who didn't have bleach dyed hair and didn't weigh over 200 pounds and didn't dress very interestingly. I don't know what was wrong with my style. And even today, I still wonder if I'm still that same girl because I chose to change. I changed everything. I dyed my hair. I lost weight. I changed the way that I dressed. I tried to act more like, I tried to act more normal. Honestly, I was less loud and I kind of fit into the crowd more, which, as you know me, I'm pretty loud now. So you can imagine what I was like back then. And did I change myself out of resentment for who I was? No. Like, did I look at myself and hate myself and when I don't like myself, so I'm going to change myself? No. But I did change myself because of the resentment from others, the hate from others, and their opinions changed the way that I looked. And that's just how it was. And I believed that if I conformed to everyone's perfect person, personality wise and looks wise, I would be more liked, In changing, I had a fun question for myself, and I was like, that would the people that I am friends with now be friends with the person that I used to be? And why I asked myself that question is because the person that I used to be is who I wholeheartedly believe is at the core of my soul. I believe that that is the real me, like authentic and true, and I didn't care what anyone else thought. That is me without the pressures of society or whatever. I sound like the Joker. I don't mean it like that, but that was me without whatever people wanted me to be. And looking back on that question, I would have to say no. Because the people that I am friends with now, though I love them very much, they would look at me and turn the other way. Of course, I can't assume that. But part of me just knows. And part of me knows that's the reason I changed myself, I changed myself so that I could be friends with people like that. And even though I make them laugh, and I'm a good friend and I'm there for them, just because of how I looked, even though I acted the same, they wouldn't be friends with me. You see what I'm saying? What do you think about that question? Like, what do you think? What's your answer to that question? Because I'm kind of curious. I know a lot of people in their lives are kind of forced to change, and that's just the way of life. But do you think that that person before you changed, do you think that that's your true self? Because it's interesting, because I changed myself based off of other people. I didn't change myself because I wanted to change. So is that version of me that was true and didn't have any implications of others? You know what I'm trying to say? Is that who I am? And should I try and be more like her? Or should I protect her and continue to be this semi-authentic version of myself? And I ask you this because even though I'm acting like I'm some pity party, once in a lifetime thing, I know a lot of people go through this, and I'm just curious what you guys think. Like, do you think they are your real friends, even though you've been through so much and they've never seen that side of you? Even though you tell them, they don't really understand. They don't understand who you used to be. So can they ever understand? And do I just have to accept that that's how it's going to be? My friends back at home, however, they know pretty close to who I am, just because they've seen me change so much. And they know that what I'm putting up now is a facade. But at the same time, it's like, they are like, yeah, you look better, you seem better. But I'm not. I never got any funnier. And people laugh more at my jokes now. I have the same sense of humor. How does that work? I just find it so unfair. Like, his personality just... I know the personality is mended by our surroundings, but I would have liked to think that it wasn't mended by our looks. You know? It's just so crazy to me. And I just want to protect her, that little girl in my heart that thought that the way that I looked didn't determine what people thought about me and didn't determine if people went up to me and were friends with me. But now looking at the people that I'm friends with, you have to sit there and wonder, like, man, I could have been so much more in high school and middle school if I just didn't look that way. And everyone has an awkward phase. Even pretty kids, whatever you want to call them, the jocks, they have an awkward phase as well. But mine was more than awkward. It was embarrassment. It was fully, whatever the synonym of awkward is, it was the worst, the most intense version of that. So I'm sitting with my friends and I'm like, if you saw me in class, you wouldn't go up to me. And that's so crazy to me. Because you never know what a person is like until you go up to them and talk to them. You just have no clue. And we like to think that we are such amazing people and everyone is so altruistic and no one's gonna think, oh yeah, you look weird, so I'm not gonna go up to you. No, everyone's like, oh yeah, I don't base people off how they look. It was just a question that came to my mind, and I was wondering what you guys thought of it. Because I think about it a lot, and I think the answer is no. My friends wouldn't be friends with me. I think that's a given. And as much as they like to say that they would, nobody's perfect. I mean, even me, it takes one to know one. So if I did see someone who looked like me, I would go up and say hi. But that takes a level of experience and acknowledgement, and most people don't have that. You never even know who you could be friends with, but we're so scared to look like we belong and pretend like we belong. But you could literally find your soulmate if you just stopped worrying so much about, you know, social society and whatever. But then do my old friends accept the new me? Because now I do see there's a divide between how I used to act and how I act now. Solely based off of how I look, but also because I'm hanging out with different people. You know, I went to college, so whole new friend group, you know. And I'm friends with people that I would have never expected myself to be friends with. And even my friends at home who've met my friends here, they're like, wow, I never, you know, same thing for my friends here, meeting my friends at home, you know, it's a whole different thing. And I don't even know who I am anymore. My friends at home probably look at my life here and look at my friends here and they're like, who are you? You know? I don't know who I am. I have no clue. Because I'm just that girl, you know? I'm just that girl. I'm just that girl. Just trying to fit in. It's so sad because I'm 19 years old and this is like middle school stuff. But I feel like maybe we just never really get through it. And we just accept the mask that we've made for ourselves. You can never be truly yourself. Maybe you can. Maybe one day I will learn what it means to truly be myself. But for now, I ask you my question. What do friends have, like, what are our friends' roles? in our own authenticity. Because I always thought that authenticity was like an independent thing. And it couldn't be controlled by outside factors. But now that I'm thinking about it, now that I'm talking about this, it almost is like your authenticity is completely controlled by the outside factors of everything and how much of it you can show. What does it mean to be authentic? What does it mean to your friends to be truly authentic? I've been called an authentic person many times. Do I feel like I'm authentic? No. And isn't my opinion the only one that matters? I don't know. I seem to act free and whatever, but I still feel constrained by my past and by my relationships now. Even my relationships at home. Why do I feel so trapped? I feel like I can be my true self. Maybe I'm just scared people will leave me. I'm almost there though. I know a lot about myself. I really do. I know like most things about myself. I've done the deep work, I've been to therapy, whatever. But it's like, who will accept me? Who knows? Who knows who I am, guys? Because I have no clue. Am I just the person that my friends need? Am I the past girl who I've sheltered for the past 3 years? Am I myself as a child? Am I who I was back at home? Am I who I am when I'm by myself in my room? What is authenticity? How do you be yourself? Anyways, I love my friends here and I love my friends at home. I'm just saying, sometimes I think too much and I'm thinking that it's hard to show who I am to anyone, regardless of how long they've known me or what they've seen me go through and what they haven't seen me go through. I just have a hard time. I don't know. I really don't know. I guess I feel fulfilled by my social relationships, but I don't feel understood. Even though I'm surrounded by a lot of smart people, I feel like no one really gets it. No one gets having just to hide yourself so much. Because everyone thinks that it's a blessing, and maybe I should feel like it's a blessing. But it feels like a curse. You know, glow ups are a curse. You're just hiding who you used to be. And you're learning that people accept you more. With all the pain that you go through, people accept you more. The more pain, the better. The more that you look like them, the more they will like you. And that's just messed up to me. I want to dye my hair. I want to go back to bleaching my hair and dyeing it pink and getting piercings. But then I know I would lose friends. And it's like, yeah, the friends that you lost, would they have been good friends anyways? And I'm like, yes, they would have. They think that the way that you express yourself physically has so much to do with who you are. But really, if you want to sit there and call yourself an intelligent person, you have to embrace another person's authenticity for whatever it might be. Their sense of self. You have to embrace their expression. You can't just sit there and pick and choose someone based off of how they look. Unless, of course, maybe they look like unhygienic, you know? Other than that, it's like, why? All I ever wanted was to have a lot of friends, and I did not know the cost of that. Or maybe I'm just trolling. and I need to go to bed. I love you guys. Just sit with yourself, think about that, you know? Whether glow up be internally, externally, as small or as big as you like to think, you know? Do you think that the person that you used to be, the person that you hold truest to yourself, do you think that your friends now would be friends with them? Or people that you've been friends with in the past be friends with them? It's just an interesting train of thought. Love you guys. See you next week.